great Kansas City fans for the exceptional applause they gave us coming back home. I haven't had a chance to stand in front of you guys here and thank them. Also, Clark Hunt and the Hunt family for the great job in which they've done in supporting us and our cause of trying to get ourselves a little bit better each year, and they've fully supported us in that. And then Mark Donovan, who probably doesn't get near enough credit for the great job that he does as our president, and Brett Veach for the exceptional job that he does bringing players in and giving us an opportunity to win football games. I'll tell you, this is a little hard to hear. Hear yourself think here. You got to be in tune with this. Again, with that, I'll leave the time up to you guys here. Normally the tackles and your defensive linemen, especially if they have a low pass rush ability, go fairly high. So that's what normally happens. I have, yeah. And Sammy's in a good place. He's in a good place. I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that, but I didn't read it or see it, but I have talked to him, and he's in a great place.
Years ago, when you hired Ron Rivera, what did you see in him? What did you like about him?
Yeah, well, I like that he's a smart guy, and he played the position of linebacker. That's what I had him coaching for me. But he had that beautiful mind, and he was a good teacher. So, and he had been there, and done it. He's a great person too. So, are you from Washington, D.C.? Yeah. I mean, you're getting a solid guy, and somebody that Mr. Schneider can trust and know that he'll do it the right way.
What's the excitement picking at 32 and having the chance to get a first-round pick this year?
Right, so I get excited because Brett and his guys do such a good job. You know you're going to get a good player, and so I look forward to that. And I'm okay with it being 32. You know, we're okay there. And most of all, let's just get a player, right? We get a good player that can help us. It doesn't have to be any particular position. It just needs to be somebody that can come in and help you, whether it's this year or down the road. Yeah, sometimes change is good for both sides. I think Carolina's got themselves a nice head coach there who I think is very talented. And then I think Washington has brought themselves in a guy that I know is talented there. So, and sometimes it's a little bit of a recharge, and here you go. The change of scenery sometimes can be a good thing. Yeah, so Damian was banged up just a little bit early, and so I would say yes. I mean, that's what he's capable of doing, as long as he's healthy. So that's been the only thing the last couple of years. But he stays healthy, and he'll do fine. Yeah, so he's good for the National Football League. Some of these guys that we're talking about here are good for the National Football League. They're good football coaches, and they handle themselves the right way. I have a ton of respect for Mike. I think when he was out of football, he kind of recharged by going back and looking at all the things he could do or do better, and analyzing himself and the game and where he wanted to go to once he became the Cowboys coach or whoever was going to hire him. So I think you're going to get even a better coach than he was before, and that was a championship caliber coach. So yeah, so I mean, whatever comes out of it, I'm on the Madden committee there, so the coaches subcommittee. So I'm involved with that. I know we're right in the middle of everything. Everybody's talking about it and going through it. The competition committee is, and the owners, I'm sure, will reconvene on it and talk through it. So I don't really care. I just, as long as it's a good, solid thing, I'm good with it either way. We'll see how all the meetings go. I mean, they're just kind of beginning right now. So I stay in the office, so I'm isolated a little bit that way. So there's not much change there. I'm sure for the players, you talk to them, they're out there and they're being recognized as the world champs. I have gotten a couple free meals. I mean, that was nice. But I'm not out there that much to where I'm affected by it too much.
Coach, you've been able to have a few weeks now after winning the Super Bowl to look back, maybe have it soak in. What are some of your fondest memories of it, and just has it sunk in yet fully for you?
No, it's sunk in, but you only have a short time to enjoy that, and then you've got to move on. So, and that's where we're at. So we took a little bit of time off after the game, after the parade, and then we dove right back in and got busy, and we're still doing that, and that won't stop throughout training camp. So maybe someday when we get a little older and we're out of the game, then you can sit back and go, hey, you know what, we did pretty good there. But right now, it's buckling down and making sure that we take care of business.
How much of the offense did you give Hardman last year, and how much expansion might we see this year?
Yeah, so Mecole really did a nice job for us, got better every week, I felt. And we look at him as a starter. I mean, that's how we look at it. We just had a lot of receivers, so we felt like in a three-receiver formation or personnel group that we had, he would be considered as a starter for us. And then we had situational things for him when we weren't in three receivers. So I feel very comfortable with him. I know he's going to continue to grow. I mean, he's a real smart kid and likes to play the game. Tyreek's been great for him, too. Those guys that are faster than all of us right here put together, maybe other than being on a motorcycle, right? So they can run, and they're kind of in their own world there. And so for them to be able to bounce off each other the way they want to try to do things is a good combination. From what I've seen, I'm just kind of delving into that. That might be a question that you ask Brett when he gets up here, but it looks like it's a pretty good class. Yeah, Brett keeps me abreast during the year on the different positions where the strength might be, and as he and his scouts jump into this thing. So, but I've got a base foundation getting to this point here, and then it starts kicking up here a notch.
Has it felt a little bit like cramming for a test since you guys went so long in the season this year? Like the
yeah, not bad. I think Brett does a good job of staying organized. I've got coaches that have been together a while. We didn't really lose a bunch of coaches, so we were able to keep everybody together, and we're hitting the ground running. So we took a couple days off, and then we got back, and we hit it running. So we'll be all right. Yeah, no, right now he looks good. He was out throwing with Dez the other day, so he looked like he was slinging it around pretty good. So I think he's fine.
How do you keep your team motivated after winning a Super Bowl and refocus there?
Yeah, well, we'll get them back together first, and then we go about doing our business. We did that throughout the season. That part won't change. We've got to be prepared as a staff, and then we've got to get our guys prepared and ready to go for the season. But they know that there's a great challenge because other teams, you're going to be their best game, and they're going to be ready for you, and they're going to study in the off season. So we've got to make sure we're on our A game as we come into the season.
Andy, what's impressed you about Sean McDermott and how he's built up the Buffalo Bills in the last 3 years?
Yeah, Sean, I think, has done a tremendous job there. They're tough. The toughness of the team is the thing that just jumps out at you. And he's an organized guy that works extremely hard, and we play him. We play him this next year. So I don't want to give him too many credits here, but they do a great job. Yeah. Good coaching staff too. Yeah. So there's an importance there, I think, with the offense and defensive line, and I don't really care where we take them. You just want ones that you can develop and win games with. So. And it's a very important position, in my most humble mind here. So it's I don't know all the stats on that, nor do I really care, but I do know the importance of it. Yeah, we've had 4 guys starting from the Cleveland Browns for us a majority of the time the last couple of years here. So and they've stepped in and done a heck of a job for us. Andy Heck is phenomenal at developing guys and growing them into what they are, today. So I talked to the team about that. You're never the same. I mean, that's not how it is. So before the game, they knew that coming into it. I talked to them during the exit meeting as a team that that's the case. I mean, we're not going to be able to keep everybody here. And then there's going to be sacrifices all over the place that you've got to deal with. And so that's part of it. In particular, time also becomes a issue. So you got to put this to rest, and then you move on. So I think in all areas, it was a very unselfish football team. So I think they understand that. I think they like playing together. Some of the guys that you might be talking about have been other places, and they realize that it's a good situation, and so that's listen. If you have a good relationship with your guys and you're doing things fair, I think that becomes important.
Couple more, everybody. Couple more.
Andy, there's currently no starting quarterbacks who are left-handers in the NFL. Hasn't been one since 2016. You're one of the few coaches who's coached a lefty starter. Why do you think it is that lefties have become sort of rare commodity?
I'm not sure what the percentage is in the world of left-handed people. Yeah, that's right. So you play my brother's a lefty, so I mean I know. You play the left-handed game, and we're just getting desks that work on the left side, right? I mean, you have to special order those, but they're actually putting them in schools now. So it's it's one of those things. The numbers are down, but that doesn't mean they can't be more effective or as effective.